Hey everyone, thanks for joining me in this Microsoft Teams tutorial. My name is Bryce and I am one of the directors here of Ambitious Digital. And let's just run through what we've got to discuss in this tutorial. So the first thing is the menu navigation. So how to actually use the software and where to go. Creating teams and channels and what are the differences. Team settings and options. What options you have within the teams. And using the messaging, calling, and meeting systems. So educating you how to communicate within Microsoft Teams and to your staff members. App integration. So for example, I will be installing the planner into a tab within one of your teams. And once it's installed, I'll show you how to use the planner. And lastly, we'll end on how to create and collaborate on shared documents such as Word, Excel, things like that. All right, let's jump into my computer now and get started. Okay, guys, so we're inside Microsoft Teams now. So this is what it looks like. So what we'll do is just go through, the benefits and features of using it, how the interface works, just for a few minutes, and just explain things for you so you can get a better understanding of how it can help your company work remotely. Okay, so you do have the option of having it offline on a desktop app or through a web browser. So currently I'm on the web browser version, but just keep in mind it looks exactly the same. There's no difference whatsoever. Now, on the left-hand side here is your menu tab. So that was where you'll be navigating through each thing. So we'll break that down in a bit. And up here is your account. So just keep in mind this is a demo account. Everything you see has just been created and there's fake names and everything like that just for privacy reasons. But up here, here's your profile account. You can obviously change that to your picture if you like. You can set your statuses here. So you can switch it available. When you switch it to busy, this means people can't call you. You can also go into your settings here. You can change how the interface looks, depending on your preference. You can go into the notifications as well, change everything to what you want to get notified for. Same with calls, any kind of preferences there as well. So the main thing that we want to build out for you or help you with is the structure within your teams. So there's two teams here already created, just as a just to give you an idea. So that's this one, the launch team and the business development team. So these two are the teams, and underneath them are channels. So the difference is the team is like a group of people within your organization. The channels are more subcategories of what your team tasks or projects or anything that's kind of related to that team. So there's no right or wrong answer on how you set it up. It really depends on your company and your processes and structure and everything like that. That's something we can definitely talk more in detail about on a call. But what I want to do is just go through and create one with you guys now. So you can, two ways you can do it up here, create a team. You can always press this cog key, which gets you this tab here, and just underneath where my video is, there's also a little link that says join or create a team. So now we've got to go up this way, build a team from scratch. And as you can see, you've got three options. So you can either make it private, where that people will need permission to join. Public, anyone in the organization can join. And organization wide, so everyone would automatically be joined for that. So that can be good for like communication purposes, sending out newsletters or notifications, things like that. Generally, we stick to one of these two. So it really depends on what you want to do. So let's just create a public one for now. And let's just call it marketing team. And you can do a little description here as well if you wanted to, but it's not necessary. Awesome. That's all created. And now it will prompt you to create your link your members. I'll just put one person for now. So you just add in whoever you want and click add. And you can have the option to switch in between a member or owner. So generally, an owner typically means that they're an admin, so they can remove people and have full access to the team. So if they're just a staff member, you just want to have them as a member. And then you just click close. Put these up like that. So you can move these up and down just to create more room for you. And there we go. So by default, there's always a general channel, but you can create channels through this menu here, okay? So first I'll show you like what the settings you have within a team. So you just go manage team. And it will break it down into who's the owner and how many guests you have. And you can always change, their roles at a later stage if you did want to, or add extra members or anything like that. It's fully customizable. And settings, this is an important one, so you can create a team picture, member permissions, which is really important. So, classic examples, you don't want your staff members to be able to delete any files or create unnecessary folders, making things disorganized. So you can untick or tick these things when it's appropriate. And also with mentions, maybe you don't want people to mention you in certain things, you get too many notifications, so you can customize all these kind of things here. Analytics is also something you can look at. It just shows you an overview of the team, how many people are in there, how many apps you've got connected to your team. So we'll touch more about that later. So that's just kind of an overview of the apps that by default are already within the team. All right, so let's just click on the general channel. And this is the home page of where like everyone can kind of communicate to one another. So there's a bit of a chat system here where you can upload videos, files, or just really just chat to anyone in the team regarding any kind of like, literally anything. So if I was wanted to speak with that person I added, just go tag them here. But just very similar to any kind of social media account. Can you please check on recent campaign? And it'll just come up in a feed that everyone can see, and she can come in and reply to it directly underneath it, so it's very transparent. Everyone can see it. You can even put funny emojis or any kind of that if you wanted to. All right, so let's create another channel within the marketing team. Let's go add channel, and it's very similar to the same thing as a team. So let's just go, for example, Facebook campaign. The description there, that's optional. And you can also switch this between standard or private. So if there's only a channel that you want certain people to have access to within a team, you also have the ability to do that. So I'll do private just so I can show you what it looks like. And the same thing, just add in your team members. And same thing, you can switch between owner and member, but we'll keep them as members for now. And that's done. So any private channel will have that padlock there, as you can see. So anyone within this team won't be able to see that channel. So yeah, as you may realize, that it can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. So it depends how big your team is, but you can filter teams and channels. So if you can do a quick search, and like I said before, you can hide ones if you wanted to, hide it there, and that will just disappear to the bottom there. And then you can reappear it again, show. You can also edit the team if you wanted to change anything in the future as well. Okay, so moving on to the chat system here. So you just click on the chat on the left-hand side, and this is where you can chat to your whole team internally. So this is all the private conversations that you can choose. So you can add contacts, and it shows all your recent messages here as well. And if you want to create a message, a brand new chat, it's just a little button up here. Just type in who you want, and just pretty straightforward. You can send attachments, video files, any kind of links or anything like that. And if you did want to give them a video call, you can go on the top right hand side here as well. And you can also add people if you want to do like a group conversation. It's very, very similar to any kind of messaging app that you may be using, like Slack or Facebook Messenger. Very, very similar and easy to use. Now, there also is a quick way of doing this. So if you happen to be in other tabs and you wanted to message someone quickly, you can do a shortcut code here. So you can go chat. That's it. And then just put whoever you want to speak to, and then type in like a quick message. Hello, mates. Yep, and you can go straight to it if you want to look at it. So this can also be used as changing your availability quickly. So you can go available, or maybe you want to change it to busy. As you can see, it kind of reflects over the right-hand side of your settings. So if you didn't want to go through this kind of long way here, you can do it with a shortcut code here, or even BRB, set it to be right back. Another handy one is activity, which is the first drop-down box here. So if you wanted to see a staff member's activity and what kind of they're doing within Microsoft Teams, you can also do that. So because because it's a demo account, there's really not much to show, but if they've been chatting to people, leaving comments and messages, you'll be able to see a big list down this kind of feed here. See if it's got any. Yeah, so here's another example here. So that shows you what they're messaging. So it's very good to keep an eye on your team and what they're kind of up to. All right, so now let's move down to the next one underneath Teams, which is Calendar. Okay, so these are all just kind of like templated meetings, but this is exactly what you would see. So if you wanted to set up any prior meetings in advance, this will show up on your calendar. So this can all be integrated with your email systems through Outlook and also your booking systems as well. So you can create a meeting right now with anyone within your organization, or you can create one in advance. So in advance, you just go new meeting and just fill out this information. It's really straightforward. What the meeting's about, any kind of event, any team members you want to add, what the times are, any locations, and just click save, and it will automatically update in all your calendars. Now, if you want to do a meeting right now, just click Meet Now. Let's go Join. And then you can just invite people from your organization to join your team, and it will just kind of show as a big video conference. While we're here, you can also share your screen and just click the window that you want to share. You can record the meeting and keep it within Microsoft Teams so other team members could watch it at a later stage. So that's really, really handy. So obviously you can turn the camera on as well here. And there's conversations here. So if you want to see like who's in the chat, you can just click this button here. Really straightforward, and I find the video call is very good, way better compared to Zoom, which is another video software that companies use. Okay. And another handy thing after each meeting, it will leave kind of a track record of the meeting within your chat system. So any kind of files or messages that were recorded or actually in recordings you did of the meeting will all just be in this chat, and meeting notes or files. So if you did forget anything that happens in the meeting, you can always go back to it if needed to. Okay, so just underneath calendar is calls. So it's very straightforward. It's the same concept. Just if you know any video calls or just normal calls, you can do it all within the system here as well. And it shows your suggested contacts or recent calls as well. It's pretty straightforward. Then just underneath that is files, and this will show anything that's linked up to your account. So if you do want to put your files in OneDrive, everything will show here. So here's just an example. So you can upload some new ones or any new ones. Anything you've shared within Microsoft Teams in itself. So that's all kept within there. Okay, so lastly, we're into the final option in the left-hand side of the menu, and that's just these three little dotted lines at the bottom. And that's just a really handy shortcut code or menu for any kind of apps you have integrated within your Teams. So a handy one is, is the planner, which is most likely what any business will be using, and that will show any tasks that are linked under your or have been assigned to your name. So I'll show you how that works. So if we go back to Teams, and on your general channel, this is where you can add apps that integrate into the team. And let's just click this plus symbol here, add a tab. Now there is a lot of apps to choose from, so we can help you decide what ones that will be handy for you, or maybe you even are using some current apps you want to integrate to Microsoft Teams. So there's so many options when it comes to apps. However, we'll just, to keep this tutorial short, we'll just go into the most common one that people use, and that's the planner. So just click that there. So you can decide if you want to post that to the channel so everyone knows it's been added. And you can add, call it a name, marketing planner. If you have existing planners, you can also add an existing planner. There we go. So this is like your full project management tool that you can assign tasks to. So you can rename up here. So maybe you want to call it like Facebook. And you can add a task. So who's in that? Or you can call it a task, sorry. Put up ads. Assign a date to it and anyone you want to assign to it, right? You can add as many buckets if you want. So maybe you just want to go social media. Or maybe, just anything that's relevant to the team. And you can break it down to anything that was assigned, if it's assigned to you or assigned to anyone else, the progress of it. So if you click back on the task, it gives you more options in what you want to do. So you can, if you're working on it, your staff can go in progress. You can choose the priority of it. So if it's really urgent, you can change it there, and you can even, get a notification on it. You can put some notes on the task and create some checklists as well. And you can also add any attachments. So that can be a link, or can link directly up to your SharePoint. And of course, any comments if you wanted to work on that. All right, so if we just add a task for ourselves, load post to page. Right, let's just give Megan a task, eh? So you also can toggle between charts if you wanted to see a bit more visually how things are working. So if things are not started, in progress, are they late? Also over a calendar view, which can be quite handy. Now, as you can imagine, the more teams you have and the more plans you have can get quite overwhelming. And you may just want to know, okay, what is assigned to everything under my own name right now? Now, to do that, you just go back to the cog system that I spoke about, click Planner, and it'll automatically default to your My Tasks to show everything that's under your own name. And as you can see, that task I made is already sitting there. So that's a really good little shortcut code you can use. Another huge advantage of using Microsoft Teams is just the ability to have real-time updates on your documents, such as Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, that kind of thing. So no longer do you have to send files to your staff via email and not know which document's the most updated. I don't know about you, but me personally, I find that very frustrating, and we dealt with that a couple of years ago. So this resolves that issue. So I'll show you what I mean. So when you're inside a team, click on Files at the top where your tabs are. And you can go New and create any document up here, right? I've already created as a test Word document. So let's go into it now. And there's already some pre-written dummy text there. So when it comes to working on documents within Microsoft Teams, you can either do it within the software, or you can actually click on this little cog system here, and you can open up in a desktop app, and that will still update in real time. I just find working on the desktop app a lot more flexible and not as buggy as with working in the Teams. And it means you can toggle between the Word document and Teams a lot more freely. Now, when you're in the Word document, you can leave comments. So you could highlight something that needs to be changed. So let's go, for example, say there was a spelling mistake here, for example. You go New comment, needs to be updated. And see how it leaves a little mark there. So that's really handy. You can also do conversations within your documents. So whoever's in the same team, you can start talking about what needs to be done inside the document. This is a massive game changer. So for example, hey Emily, can you finish proofreading this document? So they will get a notification in their activities, so they can go in there and make the appropriate changes. And you can, nothing gets missed. So anytime your staff members are working on documents, you know exactly what work's being done. And the brilliant thing about working on these documents is they're always backed up in the cloud within Microsoft Office 365 through SharePoint. So if you did need to recover a file for whatever reason, then it's always be backed up, which is really, really handy. And if you did want to look at integrating existing cloud storage you already have, you can click up here and there are options where you can integrate it. So Google Drive, Dropbox, quite common ones. So SharePoint is the one that already comes with Microsoft Office 365. So you've got those options there. And there's also a direct link here to open it up in SharePoint. Okay, so the last thing I just want to touch on is probably the activity. So you just really want to keep an eye on this, as your manager tagged you, or has your staff member applied to. All these things can be managed within your feed here. You can also go My Activity, which shows you what you have been doing here. Here's a kind of a demo of what everyone's been doing, sharing documents, telling them where things are at. Go to My Feed. So it just shows you like if you're, who your team's tagging and what needs to be done if needed to as well. All right, so I think that's everything from Microsoft Teams. Hope you enjoyed it and gave you some ideas on how you can integrate it with your business. And of course, we'll dive in a bit more deeper, specifically for your business, when you get on a call with us. This is just a general overview, so you can just see what it looks like and how it works.